So I got a question on a video that I recently posted, and instead of answering this person directly, I thought I would make a video out of this topic because it's an awesome question and an awesome topic that I think everyone has struggled with at some point in time in their life. I know that I think about this all the time. I've struggled with this, and I actually make a tool for this and collect questions from various people around the world throughout history that have also put their finger on this problem. And I'm going to share with you all of those questions. They're kind of like, like self-therapy or self-coaching questions that you can ask yourself to identify what your work in the world is, right? What's your purpose? What's your reason for being on the planet so that you can do more of that, right? I'm going to share those questions. There's about 20 to 25 of them with you later in this video. But before I do that, I want to address this person's question because, like I said, I think it's an awesome question. And I want to thank her for letting me make a video out of this because my hope is that it's going to be helpful to you, maybe someone you know. Like I said, I think about this all the time. So this was in response to a recent video that I made about serving yourself, doing what you love versus doing maybe what you think the world needs. And this person asks this question. Let me read the whole question to you. Then I'm going to go back through and break it down piece by piece and share my insights and ideas on what it is here. So she says, I am confused about service to self versus service to others. If I only do things I love, how could this be service to others? For example, I love creating mandalas. This brings me joy. But if I am happy doing this, I am serving myself. Could you help me clear that? Because now I'm afraid of wanting anything as if I am only thinking about myself, and now I have a lack of desire about life in general. Awesome question. So let's go through it here. First part, I am confused about service to self versus service to others. If I only do things I love, how could this be service to others? Let's break down that. The thing about it is, in the world that we live in, if you're enjoying yourself and you're a happy person, you're doing enough, right? If you have cleaned up your own stuff and you're not bringing garbage into relationships and into interactions with other people, you're doing great. And the way that you do that is by being selfish, right? By doing things that you love and enjoy, doing things that make you happy. Because what happens then? You're radiating joy and happiness, and that's how joy gets into the world. In my experience, joy, you can either be in the spirit of joy or you can be in the spirit of, let's say, unhappiness or pain or whatever you want to, the opposite of joy. You're going to emanate that into the world. And I have to ask you, would you rather have a person in the spirit of joy that is, let's say, selfishly living their life for their own selfish reasons? Or would you rather have a person who is doing everything for everybody else and neglecting themselves, and therefore they're emanating unhappiness because they know they're not actually getting what they want, right? They know they're not actually doing their work in the world or doing what they enjoy. You've known people like this. I know you have. Unhappy people emanate unhappy vibes out into the world. Happy, joyous people emanate happy, joyous vibes out into the world. And so that in and of itself, knowing that joy comes through people who are enjoying themselves, that's enough to get the job done. Now I get it, this idea of doing what you love versus doing what other people need. Let's double back. What do other people really need from you, right? They need you to be happy so that you're emanating happy vibes out into the world. Granted, they need various other things from you too, but let's think of this. Not everybody likes or loves creating mandalas. I certainly don't. I wouldn't be good at that. I wouldn't be good at sharing that demonstration or that art form or that positive message or the history of mandalas or how they work or what they can do for you. I know very little about mandalas. I wouldn't be good at that. This person who asked the question would be good at that. And again, stay tuned till the end of the video because I'm going to share with you all of these questions that'll help you arrive at what possibly your work in the world is and your perfect alignment perfect self-expression, perfect alignment with who you are and what other people need from you. So to answer the first part, service to others, if you only do things you love, is that really service to others? The answer is unequivocally yes. Period. Just because when you're in that state of happiness and well-being and love, you're going to be, and joy, you're going to be a beacon of inspiration and light in the world. And like I said, that's enough. I don't even care if you're not feeding people, if you're not building homes for people. If you're a happy person, that is equal, in my humble opinion, to doing anything else for another person. Because we know unhappy people and we know how much negativity and unhappiness they spread, right? You know an unhappy person. And if you're a happy person, you know how much positivity and love and light they bring into the world. And that's good, right? Anything above and beyond that, that's cherry on the top of the cake. You want to build homes for people, you want to serve people, you want to help people in whatever other way, first be happy. First be in the spirit of joy. And having said that, if you're an unhappy person and you're doing all those things and you're still spreading unhappiness in the world, I don't think that's benefiting anyone. Because again, those vibes are coming off you and you're going to be unhappy around other people. So be in the spirit of joy first, do what you love first, and then go off and do all those things. And I have some ideas that came to my mind because of the mandala, this person's love for mandalas, that came to my mind as I read this to be beneficial and be of service to other people. So let's go on to the second part here. So she loves creating mandalas and it brings her joy, but if she's happy doing this, is she really serving other people? My answer to that is yes, you are. And this is where you get to be creative as a human being and say, all right, how can I take what I love and be more helpful to more people more often? And this is, again, where you put your creative hat on and say, look, maybe I want to film myself making a mandala. And as I'm making the mandala, I'm going to be talking about the history, the benefits, the healing aspects, the artistic, creative expression of mandalas. And I'll tell you, I'd watch that video, right? As you're giving value, because again, what is service to other people? You're just creating or making value. You're being useful. You're being helpful. And this is one of the realizations that I've come to on my own journey is there are infinite ways to be helpful. You don't have to bake bread that people are going to eat to be helpful. You don't have to be a farmer to be helpful. You don't have to be a coder making an app to be helpful. You can do whatever you do best and whatever lights you up and do it in a way, package it in a way that is useful and helpful to other people, because people need everything. People need everything from food to eat to entertainment to watch or listen to or consume. And that is beautiful, right? There's opportunities to serve all around the world. And not only that, there's opportunities to serve in the way that you want to serve. And you love making mandalas. I can see a whole empire built around mandalas. And people will eat that up because if they're getting value out of it, they're going to keep coming back. So I hope that clears the block there about this service to others versus service to self. In my opinion, when we're doing what we love and we're in the spirit of joy, and then we find a way to package it in a way that other people get value from. Maybe there's a course involved, maybe there's a book involved, maybe there's one-on-one coaching or consulting involved. But again, finding ways to be useful and to package up our genius or our skill or what we do best at is the critical component, right? So let me just make sure I've kind of answered this whole question here because let's talk about the end part. She says, because now I am afraid of wanting anything as if I'm only thinking about myself now and I have a lack of desire about life in general. I hope that what I've shared with you at the beginning of that will clear that up as well. Again, it's all about joy. Abraham Hicks says that we are joy looking for a way to express. And when you tune into what you love to do and what you enjoy doing, and let's talk about this list here in a moment. I'm going to get my list here. When you tune into what you enjoy and you love, that's when you know you hit the sweet spot, right? Again, circling back to my original answer, if you found what you enjoy and what you love expressing and makes you and puts you in the spirit of joy, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a huge factor. Some people never find that, right? Some people never do the soul searching, the self-introspection, I guess just introspection to find that out. The fact that you're asking these questions and grappling with this idea tells me that you're on the cusp and you're on the right path, right? Again, this isn't a normal question you're going to get from random people on the street. You're a concerned, you're a responsible human being. You want to do the right thing. Hopefully my question has helped you, and hopefully these will help you too. So what these are, because I geek out about this. I've talked about this in other videos. I shared the video on Bashar where we talk about the formula, and this is one of the questions on here. What excites you? What is exciting for you to do? Do more of that, right? There may have been other videos that I talk about this, but the reason I'm so passionate about this is the sooner in life that human beings can find their purpose or their reason for being, to talk about the ikigai, which I'm going to talk about that in a moment, the better off we all are. It all comes down at the end of the day to knowing yourself, right? What are you genius at? Well, let's get into these. This is all part of the questions here. This is very rough because I'm constantly developing this, and it's just a collection, and I hope this helps you out. So I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. Again, in no particular order, here they are. And I will type these up in the description down below so you can copy and paste them. Again, I think it's foundational to knowing what your work in the world is so that you can be in the most alignment with who you are, but also be in the most service to other people. As a caveat, you will find when you talk about people at the high end, whether they're accountants, whether they're doctors, lawyers, people in show business, entertainment, comic, writers, whatever. You look at people at the high end, and it is both a selfish act because they're getting incredible benefits from doing what they love, and it is a selfless act because all the people on the planet are getting incredible benefits from them doing what they love too. At the high end, it is a win-win for everyone. And the question of, am I serving myself or am I serving other people, actually dissolves, and you transcend it, and you're in the state of, hey, I'm in perfect alignment and loving what I do, and people are in perfect receptive mode and they're loving what I do as well. That's at the high end, right? You see it all the time. So let me go through these questions and then we'll wrap up the video. So the first question is, what excites you? And again, this comes from Bashar, the formula. I'll link that video down below so you can check it out. What do you enjoy? Like I said, Abraham Hicks says that the purpose of life is joy. This is also what Marie Kondo talks about. Granted, she's talking about physical stuff, but you could template that to obligations or work or career. What sparks joy in your life? What is fun? Abraham Hicks said that life is supposed to be fun. So what do you find fun in your life? What energizes you? This is a fairly new addition from a video I watched by Mel Robbins, and it ties into what excites you. Excitement and energy are similar in some sense. And, moving on here, like I said, I talked about the ikigai. What's your ikigai? Remember, the ikigai is four circles that overlap, and in the center is your ikigai. The circles are, what do you love? What does the world need? What can you be paid for? And what are you good at? This is one of my favorite questions here too. What would you do for free? If you weren't getting paid, what would you do for free? What scares you? Joseph Campbell said, the treasure we seek is in the cave we fear to enter. And so and that cave is scary. If you've been anywhere near the cave or you know where your cave is, it's scary. And it's an infinite cave. You don't just go down there and get the treasure. You go down there and you get a treasure, and then there's other passages that open up for more and more treasure, because what is life? It's an infinite leveling up, or an infinite journey towards who we really are. So What scares you? And what do you fear, right? Again, Joseph Campbell. What is your bliss? Again, Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss. What makes you come alive? Howard Thurman, the great Howard Thurman quote. The world needs more people who have come alive, so do what makes you come alive. Follow your heart, not your head. Your heart and will always lead you in the right direction. And also, let your soul guide you. Earlier in the Big Idea series, I talked about Ralph Waldo Emerson, Living from the Soul, the 7 Spiritual Principles of Ralph Waldo Emerson, which is an awesome book by Sam Tarode, and you can check that out. Again, I'll put the link in the description down below. We talked about what sparks joy for you, what gives your life meaning, right? What gives your life meaning? Because what gives your life meaning is going to be different than what gives my life meaning, or another person. This is what makes the human experience rich and multidimensional, multifaceted. Because if we were all the same, we'd get real bored real fast, right? We like the varieties, the spice of life. Everyone has a different thing that gives their life meaning and fulfillment, and so they're doing different things in the world. And you get to go to a dinner show, you get to go to a piano concert, you get to go watch a person restore an old car or paint a picture or build a building. That's what makes the human experience so rich and rewarding. So what do you find fulfilling, right? Again, what fulfills you is going to be different than what fulfills me. What do you find comes effortless and natural to you? Now we're getting into some good stuff here. Also, when we're talking about that, what are you best at? What can you exploit about yourself and give you an unfair advantage in the world, in the marketplace, that you do better than anyone else, or that you do better than most people? That's an awesome way to look at it too. What do you find satisfying? What do you get satisfaction from doing? Because again, at the end of the day, we want to fill our own cup up, but we want to fill other people's cup up too. And that's what happens when you're in alignment with who you really are, doing what you really love, and then you're going to be most valuable to other people. Here's an interesting way to look at it too. What resonates with other people? What do you do that people want more of? What strikes a chord, right? John Ritter said that he loved being a comedian because he's plucking that chord that connects us all, right? And there is a chord that connects us all. That's our common humanity. And this is why comedians can make us laugh when they have lived, they're just living a different experience. But when they pluck the chord and we all go, oh yeah, I get it, that's funny, right? They connect with us on that level. What would you do if you weren't afraid? One of my all-time favorite questions. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Because again, the treasure you seek is in the cave you fear to enter. Let's see. What do other people come to you for help with? One of my favorites. I know I've said that for like 10 of these things, but this one is legit one of my favorites. What is the little voice inside of you telling you that you should do? Because you've got a partner inside of you. Call it your soul, call it your higher being, your higher self, inner being, all-knowing aspect of yourself. What is that little voice telling you should do? What hunch is it saying, hey, you should go do this? Because the longer you wait to do it, right, the little voice is not going to stop saying it, because it's, again, your higher self, your inner wisdom. You might want to give that some time and go and search that out and like go along with that little voice. Take that leap. We talked about what you're best at, what your unfair advantage is. And I like this one. I think this is relevant as well. Where have you put effort in? Mark Cuban said that one of the pieces of advice that he gives people is, when you're figuring out what you want to do in the world, yeah, you could talk about what you love or what your passion is, but a great way is, where do you spend your free time? What do you do when you have an hour or two, right? For me, I love to look at manifestation, personal development books. I maybe study video editing or audio editing, how to get better audio or how to create a better editing sequence. Because I want the videos on my channel to be a fun experience for people. But like I said, I'm also diving into all of my favorite manifestation books and pulling out those nuggets to share in different videos. And last but not least, I have some that I haven't even put onto my sheet here. and they're from Farrah Gray. You may know him. He was a young entrepreneur who now has gone on to become self-help, motivational, inspirational speaker and guru. He said this. He said, what did God put you here to do? And then you ask yourself these two following questions. What comes easy to me but harder to other people? Awesome. And the second question is, what are you super good at? Right? What did God put you here to do? What comes easy to you but it's harder to other people? And what are you super good at? I hope that helps you. I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for the letting me talk about your question. Like I say, I think this idea and this topic is really helpful. I've talked about it on the channel a number of times before. It's one of my favorite topics. So I enjoyed answering it, and I hope it helps you. If you are new here and you want more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell if you want to be notified when new videos come out. At the very least, if you got any value from this video at all, please give me a thumbs up. That would be super awesome. I would really appreciate it. And until next time, I wish you all the best health, wealth, and success on your journey. And remember to keep creating consciously. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.